Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. As requested in the Instagram poll today, Tata Motors was voted up to be discussed in today's video. So let me take Tata Motors into a deep dive and explain to you what is Tata Motors and what is happening. And then we will come to a conclusion to see if this is something you should keep in mind or you should not keep in mind. Will make the question. But let me tell you off the bat, Tata Motors is a great company. I keep definitely consuming it in my tiffin coffee on most days. The only reason I'm not doing it every day is I get bored of having the same meal. Otherwise, I would have Tata Motors every day because it's such a lovely thing to consume every day. But variety is the spice of life, they say. So I keep variety and I keep looking at other things too. And I just don't eat the same thing over and over again every day. So it's not a good thing. I wouldn't advise you to do that either. So Tata Motors, India's largest automobile manufacturer operating in passenger vehicles, which is known as PV, commercial vehicles known as CV, electric vehicles known as EV, and it also owns the famous Jaguar Land Rover, JLR. We all know about the global luxury automobile brand that JLR is. So there's a lot of questions being asked about the current rebranding they're going through. Have they missed the ball over there? Anyway, that's an open-ended question. Of course, each of you have your own opinion, like I do. Getting into the nitty-gritty of it, the business segment is, of course, Jaguar Land Rover, JLR. They make luxury SUVs and sedans, which is the Range Rover, the Defender, Discovery, Jaguar XF, and F-Pace. What are the key markets for the Jaguar? Well, it is the UK, of course, the US, of course, China, where all the trouble is right now, Europe, and last and not the least, India. Why is this such an important thing? It is a high-margin premium vehicle which is driving a lot of profitability for the group. That's the Tata Motors Group. A lot of their current profit is coming out of JLR, and that is why it's such a valuable buy for them. How big of a profit is it? It is 65% of their revenue is from JLR. The price of the vehicle plus the margins in the vehicle makes it that valuable. If you don't believe me, you can Google the price of a Jaguar car compared to a Tata car. I'm sure Rupesh can put up the price of a Jaguar XF versus a Tata Nexon, and you can see how many Nexons you can buy for one Jaguar. That is the reason why it's contributing to so much of revenue. Under Tata passengers, what do we have? We have the SUVs, the Harrier, Safari, Nexon. Then we have the hatchbacks, Tiago, Altos, Sedan, Tigor. This is only sold in India, which is the biggest market, and only market right now. Of course, there is some export happening, and that's nothing compared to what they're doing in India. This contributes around 20% of their revenue. So JLR is 65, this is 20%. So we are already at, you guessed it, 85%. So what is the leftover? The 15%, that is from the commercial vehicles. They got trucks, buses, pickups, small commercial vehicles. Of course, the famous Ace is inside that. The Kutti Aane, we used to call it affectionately down south, and Yoda is there in it. It has the number one position as far as commercial vehicles is concerned in India. The major competitor for them in commercial vehicles is, of course, Ashok Leyland, which probably we should talk about another day. So what are the growth drivers in the passenger vehicle? It's the premiumization of the vehicle. They're trying to make the car more high-end. They're trying to capture the imagination of people with high net worth. The K-shaped recovery, the top band of the K-shaped recovery is what they're trying to capture. And of course, there's a big push in electric vehicle and electric vehicle expansion. In commercial vehicles, what are the main growth drivers? Well, in commercial vehicles, what Tata Motors is trying to do is they're trying to push electric buses there, EV buses. And of course, the latest thing which everyone's talking about is the hydrogen-powered trucks. And they're trying to come out with using their software knowledge and the AI knowledge. They're trying to come out with something known as digital fleet solutions. That means if you have a large company with a lot of trucks and buses, they provide you solutions to track and manage your logistics to improve your overall efficiency of your organization, whether it's logistics or transportation, which you can definitely understand what it's about. There's one more division which I wanted to hit on, which is electric division, that is known as the Tata Passenger Electric Mobility, TPEML. What are the products under that? This is where the EV division is. The Tiago EV, the Nexon EV, the Harrier, which is yet to be launched, is where it's going to fall into. These are the three EV vehicles which are there under this TPEML. And they are India's largest EV manufacturers. Currently, they have 70% market share in India on EV. Recently, this year, or was it the end of last year, when the roadshow happened, or the car expo happened, a lot of new people have entered India with EV solutions, and a lot of Indian manufacturers have come with EV solutions. So we have to see if Tata Motors can keep a grip on their 70% market share, or will they lose some of this market share? Do remember, when they do lose market share, the market is also growing. So the market share in a growing market, you have to see the actual numbers and weigh it out and just not look at a percentage, because the market is constantly growing. So the percentage, when it varies, when it goes up and down, it is to that number. So keep that in mind and not just fall prey to seeing market share numbers going down. Growth focus. What is going to be the growth focus in the EV for them is going to be expanding the infrastructure for electric charging and launching of the new models, like the Harrier, which I told you about. So you have to keep in mind, this is where Tata Powers and the relationship with Tata Powers and Tata Powers exploring setting up a nuclear power plant, all this kind of ties in for their roadmap for 2030. If they have charging stations like Tesla did in the US, all over the place, up and down the country, and they're able to tie it up with their transmission networks, and Tata Powers is able to capitalize on this by generating power for the power grid as India's power consumption goes up, then it goes hand in hand with this. And of course, Tata Technologies, a big player in automobile software and solution providing, not only in end consumer, also for factories. There also it plays a role in that know-how, helping them leverage this. So this is all what is there in the mix. Is it going to happen and making a lot of money? I do not know. But looking at their history, it looks like it's there as an option on the cards. There's one important thing which you must remember, which was already approved last year, which is going to happen this year, which is the Tata Motors will separate into the passenger vehicles and the commercial vehicles. From what will happen in the passenger vehicles is, of course, the EV will be inside the passenger vehicles. So it will be passenger vehicles and EV vehicles businesses will separate from the commercial vehicles. The commercial vehicles right now is contributing around 15% revenue for them. So that will be forked out as a separate company, which will unlock value for the consumer. It will unlock value for the brand. It will also unlock value for the people working in commercial vehicles. Because the problem is, when you have only 15% of the revenue of a huge company like Tata Motors, the board, the management, everybody up and down the line will pay only so much attention because you have 15%. But once you become a separate company and your 100% of the revenue is on you, then it becomes different. They'll have their own CEO, they'll have their own board of management, they'll have their own R&D facility, plants, everything will be bifurcated and they'll be able to pay attention. This will allow the company to grow strength to strength and move forward, like I said, with hydrogen-powered vehicles and electric buses and the digital fleet solutions. All those things are going to grow in a separate company, while the passenger vehicle, electric vehicle will be able to focus, though it is only 15% being removed. The rest of it will be here, and all that attention will be focused even more so on this. Again, like I said, focusing on this will help them leverage this and help this grow. So this is going to unlock value for the shareholders. The date they've set target is hopefully to do it by is July 1st. That means already in the back, in the accounts room, in the back doors behind Tata Motors, this work has been already ongoing since last year, since they approved it. So all of this will come out in stages to the public, where they're announced to us what are all going to be separated as terms of assets, who will get what, and how it will be split up. So keep an eye on that, so you get to know how this demerger happens, and as the shareholder of Tata Motors, how this allocation of the new company shares will happen also, we'll understand very soon. So is there an arbitrage, some option there? Yes, like ITC hotels, which you guys saw, there is opportunity to unlock some value if you pay close attention to this company. So keep also that in mind when you're thinking about considering Tata Motors. Now, let's talk about the market analysis for this company and how it's doing. Jaguar Land Rover is a SUV, but the problem for them has been the weakness of demand in China. China has been going through its own problems and its economy is contracting. That means less disposable income. People are spending less. And even though there's a huge K-shaped recovery there also, there's still a lot of weakness on demand for luxury vehicles such as Jaguar over there. So that has been affecting them quite a bit. And the sales have come down by almost, though this China problem is affecting them, the high-end models, which is the Range Rover and Defender, has been doing very well in places like the US, and those sales are improving profitability. But at the same time, global supply chain disruption continues to be affecting them and their delivery schedules. So that is another problem. Then the Range Rover Electric launches on 2025, which is going to be one of the things they're going to showcase this year. That's where there's a rebranding of their logo and everything. The snafu has come, and a lot of you can Google and see what the new Jaguar Electric logo is all about and see what the controversy is there. And do put in the comments what do you think about the Jaguar's new logo. As far as the passenger vehicle is concerned, the SUV is what is the main dominance for them here in India. The market share of SUVs in India is around 14%. So that is what they're focusing on. That's where this electric Harrier also is coming, hopefully to carve some more space out. The sales of electric vehicles year on year is up 30%, mainly thanks to Nexon EV and Tiago, while their sedan and hatchbacks sales have been slowing down, which is not good news. So they need to work on this. And this is what probably this coming year they'll be focusing on. In terms of their commercial vehicles, that is growing. The buses have grown year on year by 30%, while the government has been trying to get more and more behind electric buses. So this adoption by the government of India towards electric buses also has helped securing them orders. And the small trucks and the big trucks, those sales have become weak thanks to the slowing down of our economy. The demand for freight trucks have come down. So there also they're having a lot of pain. Of course, that's only 15% of the revenue, so I don't know how much pain that actually contributes to. Where the excitement is in terms of trucks is the hydrogen-powered trucks, and of course the CNG variant is also gaining a lot of traction in the market. We have to see how much this actually converts into numbers for them. But if you look overall, their revenue has been good year on year. Okay, their EBITDA is also looking good year on year, showing that the efficiency of the operations have improved. Though the profits have declined year on year, that's because of the taxes, higher taxes and higher cost, input costs for them, which has gone up. The net profitability is still showing improvement. So these are the main things as far as their recent financial results are concerned. Now, what are the future roadmap? Well, the future roadmap is they're going to be launching a whole bunch of new electric vehicles in Jaguar, in passenger and in commercial, which is going to give them some more push and impetus this coming year. So what should you do? Finally coming to the end of the video and asking you what should you do. I laid it out to you. I've shown you where all the value in Tata Motors is. Yes, there is short-term pain. Why is there pain? Because of macroeconomic conditions. What are the macroeconomic conditions? The trade war which Trump is pursuing and the dollar strengthening and the Indian rupee weakening. Though the RBI is trying its best to defend the rupee, it's a losing cause because we are pushing our interest rate down and they're saying the US inflation might tick up and the interest rate might even go up there, which is going to make this even harder for them to hold the rupee where it is. All this is going to make the FIIs exit the market. FIIs have quite a large position in these kind of companies. So when they exit, it's going to put pressure on the prices and you're going to see it reflecting in the market. As a Tiffin coffee investor, what you do, you consume Tiffin coffee and you keep chugging along in sweet harmony with the market. Don't worry too much about these quarterly results. As I said in previous videos, this is a great brand, have a great product range, have a great history. And like I said, they're going to be unlocking value when the company splits into two, passenger and commercial vehicles. And it's a good thing that they're doing it. I explained that also why they're doing it. So based on all that, I would say it is a valuable company to have in your portfolio, especially if you're looking at 10 years, 15 years. It is going to be more and more integrated with Tata Powers, Tata Technologies, like what I said, with all the knowledge they're building, and not only in this and in cell phone manufacturing, in electronics, Tata Electronics and chip manufacturing. All this is going to amalgamate, creating some great products for consumers, creating great value for investors. So this is the idea which you should keep in mind when you're looking at Tata Motors and not look at immediate sales numbers and worry about that. You're not short-term FIA investors, you're long-term value investors. So keep that in mind when you look at Tata Motors. At least that's what I'm doing. And I'm, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's definitely there on my menu. And I would love to have it every day if it's possible, but I can't. It's not good to eat only one thing every day. So I keep my variety as much as I can. Thank you for watching the video as always. I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. I will try and pick up something else which you guys have asked me to talk about. Let me see on Instagram what you guys have voted below Tata Motors. Well, below Tata Motors, what you guys have said is Spandana and ITC. So that is being voted up next. So maybe tomorrow I'll talk about Spandana. Like this, I'll dive into Spandana, the history of Spandana, what's happened to Spandana, and maybe do a bit of ITC also in that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Rupesh will, of course, guide me as always from behind the camera and let me know if I'm on track or I'm off track. Thanks for watching the video. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. It'll be day 32. Today was a day when you saw the markets open extremely negative as the FIs put immense pressure on the market. Afternoon, the DIS seems to have woken up and they have pulled the market back. So all that seesaw happened. Those of you who are watching the stock market like a cricket T20 or a one-day match would have enjoyed seeing the, the predictometer as they have in in what you call in the cricket game where you try to predict which team is going to win. Like that graph, the stock market graph was all over the place today. I do hope you managed to buy something and enjoy the rest of the day. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you again tomorrow with Spandana. Bye.